Alright, so you know what it is. We got a new character in Honkai Star Rail, we got a new patch, so it's time to take a look at where they landed on the tier list. We're here because of Tribbie, and as you can see, she has a pretty nice placement, but in not necessarily the place you would have expected her to be. But first, let's start off here at the top. We're here again at pridewind.gg, taking a look at the most trusted tier list on the Honkai Star Rail community, at least on the EN side of things, right? We're here because we're taking a look at the Memory of Chaos tier list for patch 3.1 part 1. We recently, only like a couple of days ago, had some recent changes to the tier list because of the Memory of Chaos change. If you guys want a more detailed video on that, check out the description because I've already covered this before. But real quick, if you guys like this kind of stuff, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out, and I'll be trying to make a push towards 10K pretty soon here. And once that happens, I can pretty much shut the heck up about this because that's a nice little milestone. So Tribbie has landed at tier 0 for every single endgame content, except for maybe like Simulated Universe. We don't have a tier list for that here on Pridewind. For Memory of Chaos, for Pure Fiction, and for Apocalyptic Shadow, she's landed at tier 0, dog. Now, Robin recently rose back up to tier 0 for every single endgame mode as well. But interestingly enough, Pridewind has decided to place Tribbie here at the support DPS role, and that makes a lot of sense if you've ever played her. Her damage output is insane, giving characters like Topaz a run for their money, and characters like we got Jade and we got March was a fun, interesting addition to the game as well. But these are characters that have a lot of damage output of their own, but form some type of supportive role as well. They fit some type of supportive role. They buff up other characters while also dishing out a ton of damage. But interestingly enough, dude, Tribbie's buffs are insane. Oh, and real quick here, I needed to point out that Tribbie is an HP scaling character, okay? So if you guys have been trashing all your HP pieces that have crit value on them, you have been making a mistake, okay? Because she scales off of HP rather than, let's say, attack or something else like that. So she is yet another alt scaling character, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but besides Blade, right? Most alt scaling characters in a lot of games tend to be very interesting or even potentially very powerful. Tribbie is one of those, right? So it's easier to build her because you don't have to go for certain drops, because HP is an easy drop. It's one of the most common drops for your gear. So it makes it really easy to build this character. So she's yet another character that's pretty easy to build. You don't have to go for a whole lot. You can build her slow, ton of HP and crit value on her, and she just gets to pop off. She's an absolute beast. When I look at this column, though, and I look at all of the people within it, we see Welt here, Sampo, we have Herta here, we have Mose, Serval, Argenti's here now because of a character like the Herta. He kind of fits a supportive role for her now that she's arrived. He was not here before. You got Black Swan. When I look at all of these characters, they all seem more of a sub-DPS style character, a damage-dealing character that just so happens to buff up other units. Tribbie is a interesting case where her buffs are so powerful that they rival some of the best support characters in the game. And as you guys are probably aware, we've talked about this all the time. Support characters are the best characters in the entire game, right? Robin, up to this point, has been considered the best character in the entire game to this point. And with that action advance that she has, it kind of still makes her the best in slot for some teams, right? But Tribbie coming out here and doing a lot of the supportive, like backlifting, she's also able to deal a ton of damage while she does that. Her follow-ups are insane and deal a ton of damage. So she's kind of power creeping out here, I'm not gonna lie, but because she fits a little bit of a different role, you're not really gonna see that on a tier list like this because they have not put her here in the amplifier slot. They've put her here in the supportive DPS slot. But bro, Tribbie is an insert here for so many different teams that even if she's not necessarily the most quote-unquote synergetic for a certain meta or a certain team. Trust me when I say this, just try her out on a bunch of different teams you have. She's a powerhouse, and she doesn't necessarily have to be on an AoE-based team in order to be able to fit some very powerful role for you. She excels in the AoE meta right now. You know, we are in Ampharis. It's an AoE world, a remembrance world right now. Those are the two sort of metas that we're sort of like seeing very powerful right now, like Erudition, for example, Strong Path right now, Remembrance, Strong Path right now, right? But it's generally an AoE meta overall, and she's a powerhouse supportive unit for that type of meta. Saying on day one she's better than Robin's a little bit tough, because there are still some scenarios where the action advance that Robin provides is just something that you simply cannot deny the power of that ability. And Tribbie does not have that, but she does have a follow-up, so she's still dishing a ton of damage. So definitely a very, very fun release for the game. Some people might not like it because it's very, very power creepy, but the cool and interesting thing is she does this thing where she's a great sub DPS, but she's also a great support. So despite the fact that she does pretty much power creep 2 different columns on this list, she does kind of do it in, it's sort of a unique situation, right? Because she's kind of like the best of both worlds in a way. She fits both roles very, very well, allowing you to have a super powerful buffer on your team as well as potentially using her, right? It's a very, very powerful unit. Or you could run her filling in what you would normally have as a supportive role, and you could have 2 DPSs along with her as a sub DPS, going pretty much triple dipping on your damage with a character like this. That is so incredibly powerful, and I cannot stress it enough. She's also looking like she's going to be the best support character in the game right now for Castoris. This is the character. This is the character you pair with Castoris right now. This is the one, okay? This is the best in slot support for her right now. I'm just going to stand behind that because I do believe that to be the case, okay? Now, I don't normally do this for the tier list videos, but we'll take a quick peek at her kit as well as some relics and build strategies, etc., etc. But let's go ahead and take a look at her actual kit a little bit here and let you guys know what to prioritize. I'll just let you know what to prioritize first here. The ultimate first, right? The ultimate first, then your skill, okay? Then your like talent and basic attack as needed. Of course, your basic or talent is probably going to be more important, right? But ultimate, skill, then talent and basic attack as you need. But the ultimate will activate a zone and deal quantum damage equal to 30% of Tribbie's max HP to all enemies. While the zone lasts, it increases enemy targets' damage taken by 30%. After an allied target attacks, for every 1 target hit, it deals 1 instance of quantum damage, or additional quantum damage equal to 12% of Tribbie's max HP to the target that has the highest HP among the hit targets. The zone lasts for 2 turns. This duration decreases by 1 at the start of this unit's every turn. And then the bonus effect here, while the zone lasts, Tribbie's max HP increases by an amount equal to 9% of the sum of all allies' characters' max HP. This last sentence here, I want to point this out. This duration decreases by 1 at the start of this unit's every turn. This is why a lot of people are going to be building a slow Tribbie. It's kind of like with Ron May, there's different speed tunings you can do for her. Some people will like to run a slow Ron May, but you need to be clearing quickly for a slow Ron May to really be like at her best. If you are clearing a little bit slower, you want a medium speed Ron May at like 134 speed plus, but not too fast, and then build super high effect hit rate on her for that. So I just wanted to point that out, that there are different ways to build your Tribbie. But in my opinion, you're going to probably want the slow Tribbie. Running this particular set right here, it is the Poet of Morning Collapse. The 2-piece bonus increases the quantum damage by 10%, and the 4-piece bonus has 2 different thresholds for speed at 110 speed and 95 speed. Both of them are still good for her regardless of where you land with her speed, giving you either a 20% crit rate bonus or a 32 crit rate bonus respectively. It's a set that actually allows you to slow her down even more to maximize the set's bonus, because interestingly enough, her speed is at 96 speed. Because she has 96 speed, if you get her just going a little bit slower, she'll be able to tune that the relic bonus all the way up. She'll be able to hit the entire bonus with this set, and because she is more of a damage dealing support, you're gonna probably want to use this set on her, because in some cases maybe you want something else depending on how you have built your team, but most players are going to want to slow Tribbie with this particular set on her right here. All right, now let's take a look at her skill. She gains numinosity, lasting for 3 turns. This duration decreases by 1 at the start of this unit's every turn, while Tribbie has numinosity increases all allied targets, all type res pen by 24%. This is insanely strong. All type res pen is very powerful. This is part of what makes Ron May so good, is she has this in her kit. And, you know, some characters like Robin, for example, will have this in an eidolon. You know what I mean? Meaning you would have to pull a whole entire another character to get a bonus like this. This is very, very strong, and as you can see, it lasts for 3 turns, and it decreases by 1 at the start of this unit's every turn. If you were clearing fast enough, you basically activate her ult, right? Activate her skill, and the slower she is, the longer the buff lasts for, and she'll still get triggers from her talent. Now let's go ahead and read this talent here. After other ally characters use their ultimate, Tribbie launches a follow-up attack, dealing quantum damage equal to 18% of Tribbie's max HP to all enemies. This effect, so it's an AoE. This effect triggers up to 1 time per character. When Tribbie uses her ultimate, it resets the trigger count for other ally characters. If the target was defeated before the follow-up attack is launched, then launches another follow-up attack against a new enemy target entering the battlefield. Oh, I forgot to take a look at the bonus here. Oh, the bonus here for the talent. After using the talent's follow-up attack, it increases the damage dealt by Tribbie by 72%. This effect can stack up to 3 times, lasting for 3 turns. She has another effect here. At the start of battle, Tribbie regenerates 30 energy. After other allied targets attack, Tribbie regenerates 1.5 energy for each target hit. Okay, so this is a really, really strong effect. If you combine this with her light cone, she can literally just start battle with her ultimate active. That's really, really strong, bro. She gets to just start battle with her ultimate, right? That's incredible, right? Her technique here, after using her technique and upon entering battle, she obtains numinosity lasting for 3 turns. Numinosity is attached to her skill. So basically, that's one of the issues a lot of people had, is like, if I build a slow Tribbie, will I even be able to use my skill? I might be able to use my ult very quickly, because the way that she works, you're going to be getting this ult popping off all of the time, but her skill doesn't get reset very often because of how slow she is. But if you start off by using her technique, by the time this numinosity runs out, you're going to end up having that skill available most of the time. So this technique essentially fixes the problem of her being a bit slow. So building a slow Tribbie doesn't have a downside as a result of having this technique active. Something very important that players might not necessarily be thinking about. So this character was well thought out, a very, very powerful character. Obviously, she has a basic attack. You don't need to know about that. But she scales off of HP, making her potentially a lot easier for players to use, especially if they're casual. I would highly recommend building a crit rate body on her rather than an HP body, even though it might be easier for you. Maybe on day 1, use an HP body if you don't have anything available yet, because not everybody farms out HP pieces, because she is an alt scaling character. Not everybody farms that stuff out. A lot of people trash their defense and HP pieces, and then when a crit-based character like this comes out, they don't have those crit-based pieces that happen to have HP on them, or their planar ornaments, or their boots, their shoes. They just trash all the HP pieces that have crit value on them, when a character like this could really, really use it. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. You don't want to put speed boots on this chick unless you're running a fast Tribbie, which I recommend, again, running a slow Tribbie. It depends on how you build your team and how you build the character, but you want to have an HP boot if you want her to scale properly off of it. She does not need to be fast. A slow Tribbie is a strong Tribbie in this particular case. And also, Dance Dance Dance, super powerful light cone for her. You could run Meshing Cogs on her if you felt so inclined. Meshing Cogs does work as well if you're like running a free-to-play build. Her signature light cone is absolutely insane. Her Eidolon 1 is nuts while the zone lasts, and after allied targets attack enemies, additionally deals true damage equal to 24% of the total damage of this attack to targets that have been dealt additional damage by the zone. That's a very, very powerful effect. Let's check out this E2. The additional damage dealt by the zone increases to 120% of the original damage. When the zone deals additional damage, the further deals 1 instance of additional damage. Holy crap, this character is insanely strong. This is definitely kind of like a power creepy situation. However, don't feel like you have to have her eidolons or even her signature to make a significant impact on your account. This is not one of those type of characters where you can't play the game if you don't have her eidolon or her signature. She does get a massive power boost from it, but you don't actually need to have it in order for her to be very, very strong. Anyways, Tribbie is an absolute powerhouse. If you like this kind of stuff, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. We do cover a bunch of different gacha games here. I am trying to push towards 10K soon, so help me out with that if you felt so inclined, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.